Let's get to Caroline in Atlanta. Caroline, you're live with Steve Bannon.
Hi, Steve. I was hoping you could offer your perspective on what's going on, because are we really supposed to believe that Sidney Powell is being blocked from meeting with the president, communicating with the president? And what role do the servers in Germany play? Like, is this really playing out to be bigger than just election fraud in Georgia, election fraud in Pennsylvania?
That's another great question, John. So your audience is on it. Look, as I've always said, if you look at the three verticals here, you have voter fraud, you have election fraud, and then you have this entire Dominion Systems and Smartmatic and all that. And I say, in a finance term, in a business term, that's a free option. And what I mean by that is that there's enough. If you look at Georgia, Arizona, Wisconsin, even Pennsylvania, Michigan, but in that first vertical of just good old-fashioned voter fraud, there are hundreds of thousands of illegitimate votes, illegitimate ballots, whether that is illegal aliens voting, whether people voting for post office boxes, people voting under the age of 17. I mean, Smith, the lawyer, laid out the mantra of where we are in Georgia. In addition, you've got this entire concept of mail-in voting for both the constitutional issues, but also just the direct chain of custody and how they can be verified and certified. And I've been saying this for months, and Georgia's a perfect example. I think the Georgia Star and John Fredericks Radio Network has shown, I think, John, correct me if I'm wrong, 600,000 non-certifiable, non-custody votes. And they haven't even sent the paperwork in. It's so arrogant they're not even going to send the paperwork. That's of 1.3 million. And by the way, that still exists here in this runoff because they haven't dealt with the consent decree and the actual constitutionality of it. That's why I say the Dominion Systems and Smartmatic, and I've said this from the beginning, that's a deeper investigation. If, quite frankly, you're going to need, I think that's why I argue for a special prosecutor for election fraud. That's not going to solve it between now and January 6th. It's not going to solve it between now and January 20th. But somebody's got to get to the bottom of that and just see what's going on. Now, I don't happen to think, just on the evidence I've seen, you've got servers on the moon or gun battles in Frankfurt or things in Barcelona, right? I think it's good old-fashioned huge questions, whether it's in Ware County, Georgia, or in Antrim County, Michigan, or now in Maricopa County, Arizona. Why is the Board of Supervisors fighting tooth and nail to not fulfill a subpoena to turn over the entire system and to do a forensic audit of that system? If there's nothing to hide, why don't you turn it over? You can't be protecting the intellectual property of a vendor once on taxpayer dollars. So, but I think people make too big a deal about the third because that's going to take a deep investigation. There's enough in the mining shaft here to mine. Enough, the veins are deep enough with ore to mine the first two verticals to completely decertify the Biden electors. And to me, that's where the focus should have been in the center of gravity. And that's going to force the hand of these cowardly, and let's say what they are, cowardly state legislatures that just want to avoid this. And quite frankly, the business interests, particularly in Georgia, and I love Mike Flynn, but I know I don't agree within a Republican state with a Republican House, a Republican Senate, and Republican executives. I don't think you need to call the Army out for martial law and to revote. We're not going to revote in this country. That is never going to happen. We've never done it in 200-some years. We're not going to start now. I think that kind of talk gets the business community to sit there and put pressure behind the scenes saying, hey, if you guys continue to pursue this, we're going to pull businesses out of Georgia. We're an international city with an international airport, and you can't follow these cranks that listen to the John Fredericks radio show and listen to Steve Bannon, which we're actually arguing focus on what's there in real right now that totally decertifies the Biden electors. The other things are going to take deeper investigations. It's going to take, I think, actually law enforcement and real investigative apparatus besides private money and private investigators. You're going to need people to really get involved here, and it probably could take months or years to get to the bottom of that.